welcome to the overview and the tips and strategy for King Arthur and his sidekick Merlin. We see that King Arthur is a melee with 18 health. When King Arthur attacks, you may boost that attack. Play the boost card face down along with your attack card. If your opponent cancels the effects on your attack card, the boost is discarded without effect. He's a move 2 fighter. Merlin is ranged and has a health of 7. Let's go over his deck here. He's got Excalibur. It's kind of his main card, a powerful card. It's a 6 value, boost of 3, 1 copy. The Lady of the Lake is how you get Excalibur. Search your deck and discard pile for the Excalibur card. Add it to your hand. If you searched your deck, shuffle it. There's 1 copy of that, so that's how you can get Excalibur back. The Aid of Morgana, draw 2 cards, and that's 1 copy as well. We got the Noble Sacrifice, and there's 3 copies of that. The important thing on there is the 3 boost, but you may boost this attack. This is in addition to any boost from King Arthur's special ability. The Holy Grail, it's a 1 defense, 1 copy. If King Arthur has 4 or less health, but is not defeated, set his health to 8. And the last King Arthur only card is move King Arthur up to 5 spaces, Divine Intervention. And then we have Swift Strike in any card, so either King Arthur or Merlin can use it. 2 copies of it, move your fighter up to 4 spaces. Regroup, draw 1 card. If you want to combat, draw 2 cards instead. So these are all going to be basic common cards from now on. There's 3 copies of that. Feint, 3 copies of that. Cancel all effects on your opponent's card. Momentous Shift, 3 copies of that. If your fighter started this turn in a different space, this card's value is 5 instead. Skirmish, 4, 3 copies. If you won the combat, choose one of the fighters in combat and move them up to 2 spaces. And then we have just the Merlin cards, which are going to be Bewilderment, prevent all damage. You may place Merlin in any space. There's 2 copies of that. Command the Storms, move each fighter up to 3 spaces. This includes opposing fighters. 2 copies of that. Prophecy, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, add 2 of them to your hand, and put the other 2 back on top of your deck in any order. 1 copy. And then Restless Spirits, 1 copy. Choose any space in Merlin's zone, deal 2 damage to each opposing fighter in that space and in 1 adjacent space. If at least 1 fighter is defeated this way, draw 1 card. Now, how do you optimally play King Arthur, which is seen as a low-tier character in this game? Well, you have your ability, you got to remember, and you have a lot of versatility in your deck. So you got to remember that you can boost your cards, and you got to remember the different combos in which you can boost, right? So if I have a 6, obviously I want to use this as an attack. Very rarely would I, very, very niche, would I use the 3 boost for something else, right? So we can keep that card out because that's an important one to remember. And then Lady of the Lake, obviously I want to use this after this is in the discard. So if you can do that, you're sitting pretty. The Aid of Morgana, sometimes you don't want to boost it because you want that draw. If you boost, your opponent's more inclined to cancel that boost. So if you can still get over with the 4, then that's what you'll want to do. This card, Noble Sacrifice, you have 3 copies. You're probably just going to want to use it as a boost when you play this Excalibur or sometimes some other cards, which we'll see. So that's an important card to remember as well. The Noble Sacrifice boost value of 6, or boost value of 3, and if you use it with Excalibur, it'd be a 9, which is pretty cool. And then we have here the Holy Grail. You got to play this just at the right moment, obviously. And it's actually easier for you as Arthur to pull this off than for your opponent to stop it from happening. Okay, because you can fake them out and you can use it when you want. And they don't want to use their feints on it to attack into it usually because they want to save them for when you boost. Divine Intervention, you're going to use this for movement obviously because it's very difficult for you to move around and you will be chasing your opponent in most cases. Again, Swift Strike for movement, or maybe even Merlin can use that for fake attacks, and we'll see that in a minute, what the main attack for Merlin's going to be. Then we have Regroup. Obviously, this is a great another fake out attack, and just to make the opponent waste a card while you draw a card. And sometimes you can use it in conjunction with Noble Sacrifice to make it a 4 and make sure you get over. But that, you have to really make sure about that. Feint, obviously just a good defense to cancel things on the opponent's card. And here's the card I was talking about. Momentous Shift. You'd think it'd be good for Arthur, and it is. A 5, potentially, plus 3. An 8 is pretty good. And there's 3 copies of this. But I find it better in my many plays with King Arthur, over probably close to 200 or more, that Merlin is best suited to use this card. It's ranged. The opponent probably won't feint it, so it's going to be a 5. And they won't feint it because they're saving their feints for Arthur, so you can get damage in that way. That's very vital for the King Arthur strategy, in my opinion. Skirmish, of course, Arthur can use this. You might need it for your own defense, though. But this with a boost is nice, even if it's just 1 or 2, making it a 5 or 6. Typically, you want to boost at least for a 2. And then Bewilderment is great for keeping Merlin alive, which is also very, very vital for playing Arthur, because you get to use these 3 schemes. Technically 4, because there's 2 copies of Command the Storms. And these are important because they're a pass. You don't have to draw cards and it still doesn't affect. This can get fighters that run away from you back to you, and you can hit them with some big attack with a boost. It can get Merlin in range to do the Momentous Shift because it moves them first. This one isn't great for a pass because you're still drawing, but still it helps you cycle through your deck to be able to draw. And then lastly, this is a great card for Merlin because you'll be able to get rid of sidekicks. If there's a bunch of sidekicks blocking the hero you're trying to kill, you can just instant kill 2 of them. And it's important to note that with this particular card, you could hit a zone in Merlin's zone and one adjacent to it as well. So the character you're attacking doesn't have to be in, or not attacking, but damaging doesn't have to be in Merlin's zone, but adjacent to his zone space that Merlin is in, if you understand that. And you'll be able to get a little card draw if you're killing a sidekick. And if not, if you're fighting maybe a solo hero or just do some damage to that solo hero, that is perfect as well. Anyway, I hope that helps you understand King Arthur just a little bit better and how to use him effectively.